Hi, George here. And today I'll put a custom song onto a record. I'll do this record right here. I'll also show you how to change the record image if you want to. It's all real easy to do, but it requires going over there to the desktop. So let's go ahead and we'll do that right now. Okay, here we are on my desktop. And I have a folder here. I just named it pack. Nothing special about that. And I have two files in here. One is a custom pack.png. I'll show you where you can get the default one. That's that grass block one if you want to use that. But making a custom one is easy. It's just a square image at 128 by 128, and it's a PNG. Nothing more special than that. And you'll need a song that you'll be replacing that record with. And I'll be using this one right here. And the first thing I want to do is to take this and convert this to the .ogg file format so it can be used inside of Minecraft. And I like doing that on the desktop here in a program called Audacity. If you want to do this online, the one I recommend is a program called convert.io. It's not .com, it's .io. So convert.io. That's also pretty good, but I prefer Audacity. I'll go ahead and open this up in Audacity. Okay, here's Audacity. And the easy way to get a file in here is just to drag and drop. I'll just do that right there. There we go. And this song is in stereo. You can see that there are two tracks here, left and right track. So we need to convert this to mono so that it works properly inside of Minecraft. We also have to convert this over to the .ogg file format. Go up here to File, come down to Export Audio. I'll leave the name as is, that's fine. And then browse to your folder. Mine's already set up, but it's right here. Set the format here for OGG Vorbis files, and then change this to mono. There it is. Everything else can stay the same. Choose export, and that's all there is to it. That's now exported out to the OGG format. Go ahead and close this down, and don't need to save that. And here we go. There's our new OGG file. Now we need to get the vanilla resource pack and also set up some folders. So let's start that. I'll be getting this from the Minecraft launcher. That's the easiest way. And it's right here. Go up here to Installations, and then Latest Release, and click on that folder icon right there. And that takes you right into the Minecraft folder. Now, if you don't want to use the launcher, you can get here directly. Just open up a file window like we have here, and then in the address bar up here, just type in %appdata%, and it will take you right to this location, and then go into Minecraft right there, and it's back in the same place. Okay, scroll down towards the bottom, right down here. Scroll down to the folders. You want to go to Versions. Open this up, and we want 121.11. That's what I'm making this in, so scroll down to find that. Here we go. Now, ignore anything with the additional stuff at the end. You don't want any of those. You want the one that's just plain 121.11. That's right there. Open that up, and here we go. We have two files in here, a jar file and a JSON file. You want the jar file. Now, if you're not seeing the .jar or .json, again, that's the view and show and file name extensions right there. Okay, let's bring back up our working folder, which is right here. And I'll take the jar file, right drag it over here, and copy. Make sure you don't move, make sure you copy. There it is. We can get this out of the way. And get that out of the way too. Okay, we need to convert this over to a zip file. It's real easy. It already is a zip file. So all we have to do is just rename this. So right click, rename, and backspace over the jar, and just type in zip. Click outside someplace and choose yes. It's now a zip folder. Now right click on this, open a new window. There we go. And instead, I will show you where you can find the default pack PNG. That's right here at this page. So just scroll down and look for pack PNG. It's a long ways down, and there it is. That's that grass block file right there. Okay, back to the top. Let's go inside of Assets, inside of Minecraft. Now, we need a few things inside here. We need the folders that we'll be making up here, and we need the Lang folder. We also need the Sounds folder. So several things to set up. Let's first start off by getting the image of the disk in case you want to change that. That's down here in Textures. Go inside of Textures, and then into Item right here, and scroll down to Music Disk. Here we are, and I'm changing blocks right there. That's what I'm doing. Just put this over here. Since this is a zip, I can just drag and drop just like that, and there is that image. Now we need to have these folders set up. We'll start our folders right now. I'll put this right up here so you can see those folders. There we go. So make new folders in here. First one is going to be Assets. So new folder, Assets. Let's go inside of Assets. And then new folder here is Minecraft. New folder, Minecraft. Let's go inside of this. Next one's Textures. New folder, Textures. Inside of this one. And in here, new folder and Item. And that's where the image for the disk goes when we get to that point. Let's go back to the root folder here. So Assets, Minecraft, and then everything's going to be built inside of here. And we need a Sounds folder in here. Go to New folder and Sounds. Inside of this, new folder and Records. Let's change our view here. There we go. Okay, let's go back to the Minecraft folder. We need another folder in here, and that's the Lang folder. You bring back up the zip file. That's right here, and here's the lang folder. Inside of here is the language file. That's that one. If you're not in the US, it's a different lang file. I'll put a link to a video on where to find the different lang files, but we need to have this lang file. So the easy thing here is just to copy the whole folder over. I'll just drag it over like that. We have that lang file. Okay, so we have our folders and we have our lang information in here. So now go back to the root directory and we can move the record over. You want the OGG file, just drag it over here to assets. Go inside of this, drag it into Minecraft. Inside of Minecraft, drag it into sounds. Inside of sounds, drag it into records, and it goes right here. That's just the large icons again. We need to change the name of this to blocks. So right click, rename, and blocks. And notice it's all lowercase. Make sure it's all lowercase. Okay, so that's all set. The record is all set. Let's now work on the lang file. Let's open this up and go into the ENUS JSON file or whatever your language file is. Now, I like editing these things inside of Notepad++. It's a free download. Just do a search for Notepad++. You'll find it. Let's go up here to search and find. Now do a search for music. Find next. It's not that one. Find next. And this gives us the name and the description. That's part of what we need right here. There's one more place we need to fix this, but this is a beginning. And we want blocks right here. Notice that this line up here is blocks, and the line down here where it says description, DESC, it's also blocks. So if you want to, you can leave this alone. That's what it says when it's sitting in the inventory. And here's the name when it shows the name of the block. There's one more place we need to change the names on, but I'm going to change both of these first. Let's go back to our folder and back to the root right here. And this one's called Cockpit. It's by Silent Partner. So right click, rename, and I can select Cockpit by Silent Partner. And this just right click and copy. And back over here, I want to change these two things in here. I'm just going to select this, right click and paste. And then select this one right here, right click and paste. That takes care of those two. And we need to change it one more place as well. So let's go back up here to search and do a search for jukebox and find next. You get all these jukebox things in here, jukebox song and the different songs. And here's the blocks right here. And let's change the name right here as well. Make sure you stay inside those quotation marks. I'll just paste that in. And there we go. This is the name that shows when you put the disc into the jukebox itself. That comes up there. So the other two spots we changed, that's for what it shows like when it's inside your inventory. This is what it's named when it goes into the jukebox. We have those three places to fix. Okay, save this. That's now done. So the song is now renamed. So we converted it. We've renamed it. Last thing to do if you want to is to change the image in here. It's just a little picture. It's 16 by 16. We can go larger than that, but we need a picture for this one. So I'm going to go over to a free website for that. It's called pixabay.com. Right here, I want illustrations, and let's just do a search for disc, hit the enter key. Lots of stuff in here we can use. Here's some CDs. If you want to use that. I want something a bit more fun than that. Here's an old-fashioned CD. Haven't seen one of those things in ages. It's an old 45 record. That's kind of fun. I've already used that one in one of my previous videos. Let's see what else we have in here. That's interesting, kind of a music disc thing here. Haven't done that one before. Let's go ahead, we'll copy this one out. So click on this, choose download. Pick the smallest size, that's all we need, and we'll download this back into that same folder, which is right here. Choose save. Okay, we have that. Get that out of the way. There's the new image. Now I want to make this a lot smaller. This is 16 by 16. We can go up to 32 by 32 or 64 by 64. I think I'll do the 64. This is 640, so that's 1/10 that size. And you can edit this in any image editing program you want as long as it can do transparency. That's all that matters. I'll do this on a free one, and that's paint.net. Let's just right click and open with. And I got a bunch of programs I can use in here, but I'll use paint.net on this one. There we go. That checkerboard stuff, that just means that that's transparency. That's what I want. Okay, let's go up here to image, come down to resize, and I'll set this at 64 by 61. That's fine. You want the resampling at nearest neighbor. You have lots of options, but you want the nearest neighbor. Choose OK. That keeps the edges sharp. That's important. And we'll save that out. File save. OK. And that's done. Now this needs to match this name over here, but I can't do that yet. So let's put this in the right place. Drag it into assets. Drag it into Minecraft. Open this up. Drag it into textures. Open that up. Drag it into item. And it goes right here. Okay, back out to pack. Let's come down here. Right click. Rename. And let's copy that. Right click and copy. Let's go back into our folder in here. Right click on this, rename, right click and paste, and it now has the correct name. Okay, that's all set. And there's one last thing we need in order to make this into a resource pack. Let's go ahead, I'll bring that up. You can download that from my website. Here we go. Lots of great stuff in here. I'm putting up a lot of information on my website, really building this out. I have stuff in here for Minecraft and Roblox. But what we need right now is up here at the top, right there, Pack MC Meta. Click on that. Takes you to the Pack MC Meta page. Scroll down. There's the code for this if you care about that. But a real easy way to do this is just to download, and that's right here, 121.11. Make sure you just find the one matching your version of Minecraft. Click on that to download, and I'll put it back in the same folder. Choose Save, and that's done. Okay, let's close this down. And here it is. Now we need to get that Pack MC Meta outside of this. So right-click, open a new window. There it is. Just drag it over here and drop like that. Close that down. And you can delete the zip file if you want to. We don't need that any longer. Okay, I'll open this up inside of the Notepad++ program. Here we go. And this is correct for 121.11. So if you're playing this, that's all you have to do. But you may want to change the description up here. I'll just change this here to say disk. Here we go. Minimum format, maximum format. This is the minimum that the pack will work with. This is the maximum the pack will work with. Right now, this is fine for 121.11. I know that the next version coming out, I don't know what the number is going to be, but I know that it's already up to 100 for the minimum format. So you may have to change that, or at least put this a lot higher if you don't want this to fail on you. I don't think they'll be changing anything in records for a while, so I'm going to change this to 120. That gives us some space in there so that it shouldn't break when the new version comes out. Once it gets to above 120, you'll have to come back in and edit your Pack MC Meta file. Okay, let's save that. That's good. And now we can actually go ahead and build the resource pack. And we need three things. That's our folders over here, and the Pack PNG, and the Pack MC Meta. Right-click, compress to zip file. It has to be a zip. Make sure you see zip on there. It will not work with .rar or .7z. Has to be zip. And then we can give this a name. Just rename that. I'll call it custom record 121.11. So I know exactly what that is. And that's all set to go. Let's now put this inside of the game. Bring back up the launcher. Right here, let's go back into that folder again. And this time scroll down until you see resource packs right here. Open this up. There's resource packs. I want to put it right inside here. So I'll bring back up that other folder. And I'll right drag it over here and copy. You could just move it if you wanted to, but I'll be uploading this onto the website. So I'm copying that, so I have a copy over here for use. That's all set to go. We can close this down, get this out of the way. Let's now play this and test it. And here we go. This is my custom menu screen. If you want to find out how I did all this stuff, I'll put links for those videos in the description. Let's come down to options, come into resource packs, and we should see our new pack over here, left-hand side. There it is, custom record. Hit the arrow. Brings it over here, right-hand side. That's now been activated. Choose done. Let that load in. Choose done again. Go into single player and let's test this out. I'll go into main world and we'll get back to my modern base. There it is. And notice that the icon has changed here. New icon now says cockpit silent partner. Let's take a look at the block up here. There we go. I put the same record on that frame. That's now changed as well. That's good. And it looks good in my hand. There it is. So the image is good. That works. And let's now test it out in the jukebox. Get that one out of there. There it is. And the right name is showing. You can see that right down below there. Since I put this in, right click, and there's the correct name as well. Okay, everything's working. Image is good, the names are good, and the sound's working perfect. So there you go. Now, if you like this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Also, check out my website. Lots of great stuff over there and a lot more coming. And I'll see you next time.